Hey guys, and welcome back to Master Sight. Today we got game one of Crossroads GT, where I will be playing my elves against Alex Koos's Ratkin. Um, had a, had a really fun weekend at Crossroads, so really excited to get into the games and kind of go over them with you. I'm gonna keep the battle reports just kind of normal, like I do with all the other tournaments. Obviously, Crossroads being a four-man team tournament, there's a lot more tactics and things involved with it. So I plan on doing a video after I do all of my battle reports that incorporates a discussion with my teammates and kind of go through our mindset going into each round to give a little bit of inside info into what we discussed going into the rounds, what we thought were going to be our best matchups, and things along those lines. So keeping these battle reports pretty straightforward, like normal, and then we'll get to some of the tournament specifics in a separate video after I get through the battle reports. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. So let's jump right in here. We got Alex's list. He has two warrior regiments, two hordes of nightmares, two regiments of tunnel runners, one with J boots, the other with sharpness, a warlock that's knowledgeable, and lightning bolt 5, alchemist curse 4. Brood Mommy with the Blight Staff replacing the Drain Life, and then an Orb of Towering Presence. Mother Kryza, Scuds, and then the Formation. So this brings about to a total of 13 units and only 19 unit strength, which is pretty darn low for rats in general. But it makes sense because those tunnel runners are only unit strength 2, so it is pretty low. The nightmares are the key unit strength pieces. So but yeah, going into the game, Alex and I had called each other out, challenged each other, so we knew each of us was going to be into the first round. Alex ended up being able to pick the scenario. So he chose Dominate for our matchup, which I thought was a little surprising just because he does have such low unit strength in general. But I don't know if there was necessarily a better option. Usually anything with loot tokens, the faster army like my elves, um, has a little bit of struggle. But I do have the tools and the units to be able to carry those tokens as well. So yeah, either way, I was just caught off guard, I guess, a little bit by him picking it. So. But I got a couple pictures here. I got in Thursday, so Corey was awesome enough to pick me up and take me to his lake house, let me stay a night with him. And then I was able to kind of help him set up the tournament, the event, terrain, and all that stuff. So um, yeah, so we got a picture of the hall here. So this is from the back of the hall looking forward. Um, Picture of our team and our few tables that we're going to be playing on here. So we got Roger here in the Ohio State hat, Shannon sitting right over there. And then mid clap, we got Eric Trowbridge. And then here's a quick picture of the kind of the front desk area. Corey's all the way over here talking to people with the microphones. And this was Corey's wife, Melissa, who helps run the event and was also a gracious host. She is just absolutely awesome. So Corey and the guys that put on Crossroads here have just a ton of prize support all the way up until these blue boxes here. That's all a part of the raffle they put on. And then all of these are awards. Then another really cool thing is you see down here there are a bunch of blank bases. One of the One of the guys brought just like a Rubbermaid tote full of blank bases of all different shapes and sizes for anybody and everybody to use. He just, said everybody have at it. So that was really awesome. And then we have I guess I've been mispronouncing. It's called the A team. Um, but they didn't have a Mr. T, so they definitely missed out on the actual A team. But this is Alex Coos here, first round opponent, countercharge, famous Canadian, as famous as Canadians can get. And yeah, we're gonna have a fun game for our first one. So here's the board, dominate, and here's our deployments. So uh, terrain wise, forest, top left, bottom left. Uh, Impassables on the left center, right center, and obstacles jetting out from each one. Two hills across the middle, and then a flat and a flat basically over on the top and bottom right. So, very symmetrical board here. Um, and I think the thing that also kind of was a little bit caught off guard by was the deployment Alex went with. Since we're playing dominate, obviously the middle's the important part. Um, he deployed quite aggressively out on each edge, um, which I didn't really see the point in doing, just because he has those anchors. Like, yes, I'm faster than him. Yes, I could push up aggressively and kind of come around, but it's a little tougher with the obstacles on the edge there. My Dracons might be able to do it a little more effectively, but he has the shredders that could target them down. And yeah, I was just a little surprised because um, yeah, I could definitely play to hold him out here, or he just split his forces so drastically that I could effectively just pick on one side and leave the other one be for a little bit and then focus on the other side. And that's pretty much my game plan going into this. Is what I'm going to try to do is overpower one side and then deal with the other. So but if we get into it, so this is after first turn of movement, which I believe I got. Yes. So after I moved up, I have Regiment of Dracons, Silver Breeze, Horde of Dracons with J Boots, Battle Cats, the Regiment of Seaguard. Then I have my um, Trickster's Wand character from the formation, the Alchemist Curse Mage, Horde of Seaguard with Hate, Regiment of Silver Breeze, the other um, formation, Regiment of Dracons. This one has Brutal, so when you see the Great Eagle in the regiment, that's the Brutal one. Nimways tucked behind the building, the Battle Cats, and the troop, as well as the Bolt Thrower back here. So I decide redeploy is perfectly good. He has me outshot basically over here is my real thought. So um, I figure hide behind the building. If he starts curling in, I can always, with my nimble, jump back out around the building with like the Troop of Silver Breeze. Even the Dracons can just turn and fly over here and then eventually get back into the game. Um, so I really want to kind of delay this side and push the issue on the left side a little bit more is my game plan. So I move up, I get some shots. Nothing too drastic happens at all with shooting early on. So we'll move to Alex's turn. So this is how it looks, kind of top of Alex's turn. And this is what it looks like after he's done moving. So let's get a little closer here. So Alex popped the J boots top of his turn one to just push these guys through the force. more quickly. Um, yeah, which was a little surprising. I wasn't expecting that, mainly because I don't feel like this really accomplishes much for him, and kind of see that on my turn here. The shooting again was kind of crappy, so these guys only had 2 wounds. He just runs them up fast. He gets these guys up on the hill because they can get shots onto the regiment, but they're the only ones. He blocks off charges with his broodmother getting up here, and his other horde of nightmares is back here outside of charge range of the Drakons, or anything else for that matter. Over towards the right, he redeploys Scuds, just running him towards the center. He realizes that that left hand side is not as protected as he'd hoped. Um, I don't hate this move. I do think, though, that if you're going to do it, it's just a little odd to push up aggressively on that flank when you're bringing over a reinforcement piece. Um, but yeah, he pushes forward his other regiment of warriors. This is Mother Kryza. This is the shooty thingy, the ram thingy from the formation, and his regiment of tunnel runners. I believe this one, yeah, this one has the sharpness. The other one had J boots and it popped it. And his warlock character is around, hovering around here somewhere. I can't see him in this picture, but he's on this side of the table. I ended up hexing, I believe it was Scuds or Mother Kryza, or maybe the Warlock. I think I hexed the Warlock. One of those guys I hexed first turn. But he doesn't cast a spell with them, so. And shooting, he puts enough wounds into the regiment to pick it off between the shredders, the lightning bolts that he has, and the tank thingy, zappy gun ram thing from the formation. So, anyway, going into my turn 2. Again, I'm gonna be aggressive on the left flank just because he doesn't have the numbers and I do. So, this is what it looks like after I moved. And we'll get a little closer here. So, as you can see, him moving forward with the tunnel runners did nothing. I just flew over with my nimble. I was able to clear this forest and be in a quite an excellent position to threaten flanks on both of these guys. I flank charge with the regiment, hindered front charge with this Silver Breeze. As you can see, did 11 wounds, and I failed to break him. Got a waiver. I think I rolled a 3, and I think I needed a 4. And I only needed one time because I killed the Broodmom over here, which was his only source of inspiring, with the Horde of Drakons. I had run the dogs up to utilize them to prevent him from charging. So right now, the Sea Guard are actually overhanging the base of the Drakons, and where the battle cats are, nothing can charge the Drakons. They are sitting on top of a hill against a quite heavy shooting army, so naturally they're going to suffer from that. But yeah, the Drakon character just kind of came over to provide inspiring. Went ahead and hexed. I believe it was Mother Kryza this turn, and we thought we had an opening because I think these guys had like 4 wounds on them at the beginning of the turn. So as we'll move forward here, I actually had shots with the horde into them. I had Alchemist Curse shots into them as well, and they're only going to be rallied 1. So I felt like it was reasonable to go for this play, put my Alchemist Curse caster out there a little bit in the line of fire, as it were, and really try to go for like a waiver on this unit. A kill is quite a bit to ask for, especially because that inspiring was still there on the shooting phase. But we only got 7 wounds, and yeah, not as much as we had hoped, but that is okay. Nimue did her fly thingy, You can see an extra wound sitting back there. Nimue fireballed the war engine cannon thingy. Again, I forget what it's called, the impaler thing. As well as this troop of Silver Breeze was able to shoot at it too. So we got that up to 6 wounds. Cloak of Death had gone off, putting wounds on everything here. I think we did 7 wounds to it, but it has the Iron Resolve ability. So, yeah, I mean we're sitting just fine. I think Nimue's in a good spot. The Warlock can try an Alchemist Cursor if he wants, but um, I think Nimue is going to survive, and that Cloak of Death over a couple turns here, plus the Fireball and a little bit of shooting we have, is going to really add up over time, I feel. So that is the goal at this point, is to just keep the pressure on and avoid allowing this side to engage, because Mother Cries is just a real pain in the butt to deal with. Stealthy, and I'm pretty sure she's stealthy. Either she's in snare, I know, but yeah, I don't expect. I just don't like committing to trying to kill that piece. It is just usually much more trouble than it's worth. So after that, this is Alex's turn to a movement. Blurry picture, I know. I'm sorry, but he moved up the tunnel runners from the left over here. He backed up his hordes so that way they're dead equal, so he can open fire onto the Dracons. He did take the charge onto the individual over here, which I put her out there for a reason. I don't think getting charged is the end of the world here. Scuds with 13 attacks has a much better chance than most to kill her, but yeah, she's quite tanky with an 11-13. It's very possible to live. And then on the right, he realizes again that I'm just delaying over here, so he tries to push aggressively forward so that he can get the tunnel runners over and more contributing to this line of the game here. So, yeah. And he does so with blocking it off, so I can't fit into this flank. Uh, Good play. Well done. Absolutely. And on his turn, he shoots everything at the Dracons and he rolls a Snake Eyes. I think he needed like a 6 twice or a 5 twice. So it's not a true Snake Eyes, but I think a 4 better was going to be a waiver. So unlucky with that for sure. He does pick up the Alchemist Cursecaster, um, which again I'm not. I knew it was a risk play. We knew that that was coming in, but I needed to get some value out of her, and she just didn't have safe spaces to live in this game. Um, so I, I'm not terribly upset about the outcome. Scuds is in a spot where we can control him, we can hit him, sit him down at this point. And if we really, really want to, with the Drakon Horde now not being wavered or anything, we could even take them into Scuds as well. So this is how the table looks at the beginning of my turn 3, and this is what we end up doing. So we'll get a little closer in there. But I only need one of these units, so I withdraw, flip a 180, allows me to get in range to shoot some stuff. It also helps with the ability to avoid this into this. I think I need like a 2-inch overrun to block off and prevent him from flanking me. So I wouldn't have had a good reform option besides a 180 after this flank anyway, so rather just get it over with now. I took the flank into this horde with this Drakon unit, and then I decided we gotta kill the damaged unit. It's being rallied to and inspired. So if we kill this one, The other one's unrallied and uninspired, so we might be able to get lucky with that Regiment of Dracons in the flank to pop that one. Um, so that's my hope. That's kind of the thought process here as to why I didn't take the Dracons and the Scuds. I know I'm not going to kill Scuds in a turn of combat with it, so I'm focusing the unit strength because again, the games dominate. Alex already starts with lower unit strength than me, and this is like a third of his entire army's unit strength in these two units. So and I already killed the Orb of Towering Presence guys, so we're on our way to eliminating about half of his unit strength this turn, and potentially eliminating the entire left flank force. So, but we also flank and front charge the rats that were here. The idea being that we have very favorable reforms after this. The horde can just reform directly in front of um, the Drakon regiment, which can still see over top of them, being on the hill. So we're still threatening Scud's flank. We can just double charge into these guys if they want to come and play. We have lots and lots of options. And that Cloak of Death is still going off, still causing havoc over here. So we're loving it. And also on this side of the table, he has no rally over here because Scuds had to fly away. So all these things are just that much easier to kill as long as we just keep piling up the numbers. These guys should be easy to pick up later in the game. So we kill the horde, and the best option I felt like for my Drakons was just a complete 180. We obviously don't know the outcome of this left flank, but I know that his tunnel runners want to come around behind my lines. So these guys turning around, they're going to contest the tunnel runners, at least make him think about it because his shooting has to take off the Drakons, and they're in a place where the shredders that he has, the bolt thrower basically at the back of the board, I'm out of their front arc now. So it's lightning bolt from Mother Kryza, lightning bolt from the Warlock over there, because Scuds is getting hit. So there's not much shooting, or he has to just, if this unit's unwavered and whatnot, he has to take a rear charge and still allow this unit's freedom at that point. They're not being sat down, so they can hit Scuds. So it just gives me a lot more options on a unit that's already almost dead, like 11 wounds. We're not expecting it to live, but there's always that possibilities of snake eyes or a really poor round of shooting. So we kill the regiment, overrun just far enough, the exact 2 inches we need in order to get up to here. And we killed that regiment and reform as we anticipated already. Our shooting did excellent. It killed the thing that's honestly the most scary shooting in his army, the shredder on wheels. I forget what it's called. It's the damn thing that has like D6 plus 7 shots hitting on 4s for some reason. It's good. It's scary. So we killed it. Yeah. So going into, I believe this is. I ended up forgetting pictures here a little bit. It got a little intense. We're obviously both on the clocks, and they're running low. We're already in turn 4, and I think there's 10 minutes left for each of us. So we're having to pick up the pace. So some of the pictures are getting lost here, but just a quick recap on the left-hand side of the table. He countercharged the horde or the regiment. He shot off the horde. He just moved up with the tunnel runners, and uh, yeah, and that was everything on the left. So for me, I charged the battle cats and the regiment into Scuds. I also put the flank in from the regiment of Drakons over here. So we ended up picking up Scuds because we actually did 4 wounds in the first round of combat from our 5 attacks with the the Drakon character. So we did pretty well with that, and then we ended up backing up the Drakons so that we could actually see. We couldn't see them over the hill and everything, so we had to back up the Drakons to allow for line of sight, and we hit them with the cav, and ended up picking them up again, unrallied, uninspired. So we just needed a little bit of damage, one good nerve roll. And then the big thing was if I rolled like a 4 or better on an overrun, I could get out of line of sight of the tunnel runners. But I failed that, so that's why the tunnel runners are now in the rear of the Silver Breeze cavalry. So, um, yeah, not ideal. I believe the tunnel runners were hindered, so I probably should have just turned around, but I don't think I live anyway. I'm uninspired with them, and I think they already had a couple wounds on them, or a few wounds from the first round of shooting from the nightmares. So I wasn't too uh, I wasn't too confident that they would live. So either way, after we killed Scuds, we turned around because we knew that was coming for sure. And yeah, we have his tunnel runners came into my tunnel runners and Mother Kryza came into the horde. They did like 11 wounds between the two of them, and the horde stuck. So we countercharged his tunnel runners, and we ended up only wavering them. We also took a flank with the battle cats to help get some wounds in there. But again, only got a waiver. So um, yeah, that I believe was all she wrote. I'm trying to remember how that regiment of dragons. I think he just shot it off this last turn. So his turn 4, he shot it off because it was sitting there, and I was looking, I think, at Mother Kryza at that point. Either way, um, yeah, we're doing well. The you know we have superior unit strength at this point. All of it's in prime position to be in the dominate circle by the end of the game. So if we have to speed play this, we'll just quickly roll dice to kill the high unit strength stuff. We probably aren't going to worry about Mother Cries at all. And then we'll try to shut down these shredders as best as we can this next turn. So, yeah, so that's what we are looking at right now. He does kill the horde in his turn. I had wavered the regiment, so it was just Mother Kryza that did enough. So well done. And then this is both of our turn 5. So again, shitty picture. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So I ended up double charging the Drakons and the Sea Guard into the regiment after it killed my Silver Breeze. Got him up to 8 wounds, but unfortunately didn't get a waiver or a rout. Again, unrallied, uninspired. We're just preying on these guys, and all it takes is one good nerve roll at this point. But got unlucky. That's fine. All right, so he countercharged our already wounded Drakons. You know, such is life. So shooting and combat over here, I ended up actually taking the charge onto a shredder, disordered it, and then the other shredder took a fireball shot. And again, all it takes is one good nerve roll. So I did 1, maybe 2 wounds plus the shatter. Roll an 8, roll a 9, pick it up. Over here, we just charge Mother Kryza just to try and keep her in place. Not really expecting to kill her or do much, but we're already in the dominate circle. There's no way we get out of Mother Kryza's front arc, I believe. So we said, screw it. We're just going to or actually we charged we were still in combat with the tunnel runners. That's what we did. We finished off the tunnel runners with the battle cats from the flank, and then we just turned to take the charge from Mother Kryza. So Yep, all good there. So turn six. Again, this is um, so his turn, my turn, yada yada. Yeah. So um, I think I waiver him. Yeah. So on the left, I he did not kill the Dracons. In fact, he didn't even waiver the Dracons. So got pretty lucky with that in general. I think on average he should definitely have picked this unit up. But I withdrew an inch and then sidestepped after I had charged the flank with the Sea Guard. Main reason I did this is because this unit strength was not going to be in the dominate circle, and right now his unit isn't in the dominate circle. Essentially, the circle starts here and it goes to almost the edge of the hill. So I'm holding him out of the circle right now. I charged. I did not kill. I got 12 wounds, but I did waiver him, I believe. So that's why he withdrew an inch over here on turn six. He finished off the one battle cat unit over here and then turned to face the other one that had hit him in the flank the turn prior. I think he's up to like three or four, four or five. Maybe it's five. Anyway, maybe it's two. Who cares? I'm not looking to kill him. So, and then we charged the shredder again, but failed to kill it. So, such is life. But that unit I'm not so worried about right now because I know Mother Cries is alive, so that's one unit strength that he has to one, two, three, four, five, six. So it's a difference of five. Difference of six is the same victory point condition, so I wanted to just make sure he wasn't going to be able to shoot one of my higher unit strength units and keep the 1 point unit strength unit out of the circle. So um, yeah. So turn six is where it ends. He doesn't break the dogs. And this is how our team did. We had an awesome round one. So Alex and my game ended up being a 16-point win for me, 5-point loss for him. I believe we were extremely close on. I think this was actually our attrition up here. So we were within 300 points of each other on attrition. But I had five more unit strength than him, so that put me at a +2 for the blackjack. So, um, yeah, good game and all. Obviously, him failing to break that Dracon units, the turn he pumped all of his shooting in, was definitely unfortunate for him. It allowed me to pick up one of his Nightmare units where it would have been very difficult for me to do otherwise. But as far as the team tournament goes, as you can see here, the rest of my team just dominated. Eric and Roger pulling out 20s, Shannon pulling out just a basic win with a 14. I only needed to have 6 points, so even if I had a loss, a 6 point loss would have put our team at the max because we are capped for the first 4 rounds at 60 points. So, um, yeah, and then the minimum that somebody could get is 20 points. So the A team ended up with a total of 14 points there, but their actual score is going to be 20. So, but Alex and I had a good game, a good tactical game. I felt like I was able to really execute the plan that I wanted and do it fairly effectively. I think that I think that the deployment was a possible mistake on Alex's side. I just didn't see the benefit of it really, and as we kind of saw in the game, I really focused and punished that left side. And I'll be honest, I feel like that left side should have crumbled even sooner than what it did. Um, because they were uninspired for most of the game. All it takes is one good nerve roll. And then my shooting over there just did not perform as well as I had hoped either. So I feel like I could have picked up, one or two of those units a turn or two sooner than what I actually did. And in the end, it didn't matter. It was a win, but I feel like there was definitely I had the potential and control of the game from beginning to end, and I had the ability to potentially just turn that flank, and this could have been an 18, a 19 point win in the end if that were to have happened. But again, some dice rolls went my way then that were unlucky for Alex. So it seemed like we both commented that I think it was our nerve tests, like we were pretty commonly rolling threes or fours for nerve. It seemed like in the most crucial of combats and shooting phases, anyway. So, but first time I got to play against Alex, definitely a clean, good player, and uh, had a blast. So I appreciate the game, Alex. Would play you anytime, sir. And that's going to do us for game one. So, team dropping Trow is going to be on table one to start the round two. I believe us and maybe two other teams got a maximum 60 points out of that round. So yeah, we're shooting up to the top and we're looking to stay there for the rest of the tournament. So, come check out game two once I got it up. I appreciate you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.